Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. Now this is an Object 212A, or rather just a 212A is its title, and it's a Tier 9 Soviet SPG, and we're located on the south spawn of Overlord. Now we're pulling away to a firing position a little further to the west. And the name of the commander of this vehicle is Shananigans. Now the Object 212 was a design that wasn't actually produced. It was a theoretical design on paper, but never actually went into production at all. In fact, actually, all of the Soviet Arty from above Tier 8 were theoreticals. Okay, it's got a Waffenträger auf Panzer IV, trying to climb the hill there. An IS-7 and an Object 257, but he's going to go for the Waffenträger, and that's a nice hit. 392 hit points, 2 critical hits. And he picked up some track assistance there for the damaged track. So the enemy's lost a huge number of hit points. And most of them seem to be clustered on this west side of the map. There's only a couple over on the east side, and usually that's the critical area, because if you can get the medium tanks through the east side of the map, you can then get into the enemy rear and do all sorts of damage. Right, Mauschen. And out. Direct hit, 418 hit points on the front armour. Right, looking at the Waffenträger again. Almost reloaded. It's got quite a long reload on this cycle. It's got 32 rounds of HE, 6 rounds of premium ammo. And that Waffenträger is trying to sneak a shot over the edge of the cliff, but Shananigans fires around it. It's a direct hit for 516 hit points, and it tracks the enemy. So he's stuck there. Now he's probably used his repair kit to get free. Now, what's the next tank he's going to hit? Well, he's having a look around the battlefield whilst his Arty still remains looking elsewhere. Using his right hand, holding down his right hand mouse key, he can actually do that, just in case you still want to fire at the same target you fired at before. But he's going to go after the Mauschen, and he's getting a request for fire with somebody else using their T key. Fires the round out. Okay, it actually went a little long and exploded behind the Mauschen. Normally, when somebody actually requests fire and you see the crosshairs appear above the tank, you normally put your own reticule over the target and then press the T key, and that brings the down arrows above it, showing them that you are actually attacking that particular tank. So it lets them know that you've seen their request and you're acting on it. And that can be awfully useful if they're firing at the enemy and they need your help, to let them know that help's on the way. And he takes out that Object 257 for 235 hit points. That's his first kill. And there's a Waffenträger again. And I think he wants that Waffenträger this time. One more shot should be enough to take that one out. A splash should be able to get him, actually. He's only got 225. Somewhere down there's a Samur SM as well, the new French heavy tank. Oh, he fires around in. Oh, it hits the bunker. Oh, that's such a pity, because if that hit the Waffenträger, that probably would have ended his game. Now we're only 5 minutes into the battle so far, And we're 2 tanks down. But we have gained a lot of ground, and that Panther 88's right at the top of the map, and he's facing off against that ISM who, and he's gone down to the Waffenträger, the same one that that Shenanigans fired at earlier. And Shenanigans fires a round in on the snapshot at the Waffenträger, but misses him, goes long. And this is awkward because now they're down, still down 2 tanks. But it's 7-9. There's that Samura going down the slope. I actually believe that the real initials that Samura SM actually stands for the shredding machine, because it's such an efficient tank at taking apart the enemy. And that ISM wreck is being pushed by the Samura. You can see it slowly moving to the edge. Yep, there he is. I think he thinks, oh, I've gained another 20 meters of extra armor. Well, unfortunately, no, you haven't. Because if an enemy tank gets alongside you, then you are going to be in a lot of trouble. And there's that Waffenträger again being a nuisance. And there's a Scorpion G at the back as well. And I think Shenanigans is going to go for him. The Samura has been taken out. And the Scorpion G is finished as well. Shenanigans gets him. That's his 2nd kill. And the scores are now 1 tank down, 9-10. And that Waffenträger has been a flaming nuisance. He's got 4 kills, that player. 4 kills. If only he managed to finish him off earlier, I think it would have been more one-sided. But he obviously is a very good player. Okay, Shenanigans is almost loaded. And he's going to go after that Malshan. Round out. And it lands alongside him. It's 216 hit points of splash. The Centurion is going to be facing the ISM. And the Waffenträger has finally been taken out. It was taken out by our Scorpion G. And the Malshan's just gone down to the Wizzy 120. And that just leaves this ISM who's just taken out the Centurion 7-1. And Shenanigans is almost loaded. He should be able to get that ISM. And he sets up the shot. The round goes out, but the Wizzy 120 gets there before him. Or is it? No, it's the Scorpion G. And now they're 1 tank up, and there's only 2 tanks left on the enemy team, one of which is the Centurion 7-1. And in fact, actually, the Centurion just takes out the Scorpion G. So it's 2 versus 2. The Wizzy 120 and Shenanigan versus a Centurion 7-1 and the enemy Arty, which is an M53, M55. Now this is awkward. Now our Wizzy 120 has 1 kill, the Centurion has 2. Now who's going to be the able to stand it? And Shenanigan fires a round into the Centurion 7-1 and stuns him. And the Wizzy 120 is lining him up for a shot, and the Centurion's trying to run away. He's running down the cliff face. The Wizzy 120 fluffs that last shot. Centurion's running, and the enemy Arty gets a shot into him. And so does the Centurion 1. But will the Wizzy 120 be able to finish off this Centurion? No, he cannot. Oh, that's terrible. The Centurion 7-1 got him. And that means now it's down to Shenanigans to take out that Centurion. And he does! So now it's Arty versus Arty. And Shenanigan with his 3 kills and his 2-1-2. Versus an M53, M55, and we don't know where he is. Now, I think we can take an educated guess as to where the M53, 55 is. He's probably in grid squares A4 or A5. But we can't be certain. So all that Shenanigans can do is drive there as quickly as he can and be prepared to shotgun the enemy. The 212A comes with two different calibers. The stock caliber is the 152mm BR2 cannon, but it can carry the B4 cannon, which is a 203mm howitzer, and I suspect that that's exactly the gun that he's got loaded, the 203. Yes, it looks like it. Now, the M53 M55 is one of the few Artys with a turret that can traverse, and it's built on the hull of an M46 M47 pattern tank. I say M46 or M47 because the M53 M55 were actually built from chassis that were being manufactured at that time. They were taken off the pattern production line and converted into Arty. So it depended on which particular production model of the pattern tank that was being developed at that time as to which hull the ended up in an M53 or an M55. Okay, well, he's capping, and now he's got to wait for the enemy to turn up, and I suspect he's going to come from that direction because the enemy wasn't... Oh, he's in the enemy cap! He's in our cap! Right, well, that tells us something. He's at the other end. And so now this is going to become a cap battle. And we've seen the tracer. We know where he is, and we can get a reset. Round out. And he got a direct hit on the M53, and that's reset the cap. So unless the enemy manages to get a reset on Shenanigans, Shenanigan is going to win. Okay, he's positioning himself in those shell craters, assuming that the enemy is not going to fire at craters that are already existing, because of course that is a tremendous temptation to make that assumption, but he's looking for the tracer from the enemy Arty. If the enemy fires, he'll know where he is. Now if the enemy gets a reset, he's going to have to get a reset on the enemy. Of course, if the enemy fires and gives away his position, Shenanigans can fire at that position and reset him again. 13 seconds to go. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's done it. He's won. He got the reset that counted. And the enemy has lost. Oh, such a pity for that M53. He must have driven along the north route to get to the cap, and unfortunately it didn't work out. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And it was a first class tanker for Shenanigans in the 212A. He picked up a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 13. He got a Gore's medal for doing more damage, exceeding 10 times the hit points of his own vehicle. But get this, and this is the funny thing. He got the Raider Invader combination. That means he was never seen by the enemy at any time during the battle. And he then picked up the Invader medal when he capped out to win and got 100 or more than 80 capture points. In fact, of course, he would have to get 100 capture points if he was all alone. But he capped out to win, so he got the Raider Invader combination, which is one which I think everybody enjoys when you get it, because it shows that you were never seen, that you were incredibly stealthy, and you won the battle by being stealthy. So let's have a look at the team scores. Well, you managed to get the highest amount of damage, 3,815 hit points on your own team, but the Waffenträger Auf Panzer IV, the one that he was having the most difficulty with killing, managed to get the high caliber because he managed to get 4 kills and 4,533 hit points of damage. But when it came to kills, Shenanigans managed to get joint first with 3 kills on his own team. Of course, the enemy, the ISM and the Waffenträger managed to get the highest position there. And when it came to base XP, he was third with 984, beaten by the Wizzy 120, who unfortunately was taken out by the Centurion. But of course, Shenanigans managed to get revenge for that by taking out the Centurion just shortly afterwards. So let's have a look at the detail report. Well, he fired 13 rounds, got 5 direct hits, 5 penetration, 5 splash. Damage of 3,815 hit points, all at more than 300 meters. He damaged 6 of the enemy, he killed 3 of the enemy, and he did damage assistance of 467 hit points and stun assistance of 361 hit points off 7 stuns. He managed to get 100 capture points in the cap to win the battle, but he also got a reset, and that reset gave him 21 defense points in his favor when he hit the M55 or M5355 at the other end. He received 31,776 credits, and after ammunition resupply, and the ammunition is still fairly expensive on the 203mm, that left him with 6,946 credits. He received 984 base XP, but it was ×2 for the first victory of the day, so he actually took away 1,968 XP altogether. But a very good battle, and congratulations for getting that Raider Invader combination, because they are difficult to get. I've only got hit twice, but on both occasions it was very amusing that the enemy never actually saw me. So congratulations, Shenanigans. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that we'll be featuring in our next video.